Good morning, everyone. So in this video, I did rectification, my very first one, like actual trying to, and we ended up doing, I believe, just the needle itself, the reading, as full as as completely as I could do it. And then we got into, yeah, we did a bit of progression as well. In the first few, I don't know how long, you're not going to see their face because it's just we were kind of going through the rectification process. I wanted to kind of, yeah, I just went with it. Anyways, I'm just sorry.
Yeah,
I just kind of just like inserted that there. Just like, okay, I don't know.
no, this is really great.
Okay.
Wow. Thank you so much
No
for your
problem.
wisdom. This is
Thank you.
incredible.
Do you have any questions? Specific questions? Because now we kind of figured out more or less where you were born around. It's still within the
Yeah.
hour though, between 3 and 4. Probably closer to 3:30. So
Yeah, maybe like what would be my like soul contract in this lifetime?
well, that is the whole chart. It's the
Yeah.
whole chart. Yeah.
Oh,
Um, okay, sorry, let's go back here. Sorry, let's first continue. So your cold soul contract is what you decided to go through. Soul contract is the choices you made. The contract you made with other souls, possibly also what you decided for yourself. Right? So let's forget transit and we're gonna go into just let's go into progressions. Progressions are, let's go with both transits today and progressions. I'm going to remove all objects because it gets kind of confusing then. Okay, this is your chart for today. Well, so far that we know. This could be most likely your chart
yeah.
closer to what it is today with the transit and your progressions. So the green shows your progressions and the transit. So what are progressions? Progressions are how you've overall kind of changed. So it's not that you change, let's say we have here, let's start with the sun. And progressions work with the planets. They don't, your IC, your ascendant don't change. They are where they are. it's it's the I don't know if I told you this earlier, but without the planets, there's no astrology. The planets
Mm.
are the actors, and they're the what, and the signs are the how and the why, and the houses are the where. Okay, so yeah, so the sign we have to when it comes to progressions, most of the time in any astrological thing, like any discipline, it's the planets. We focus on the planets. Okay, so uh, so how you progress is according to this one, because you're still sorry, what year? 1980s. Okay, okay. So you progressed to be a little more down to earth, simpler.
Yeah. That's so true.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you definitely like identify with that a little bit more. You're still the Aries kind of. You're still curious. You're still present. You're still in it. You have a childlikeness to you that is still, uh, like you still like new things, but it's not out of
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
I do, and I'm really childlike.
There you go. So
Like I wear children's clothes.
okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's the way it is. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I really like childlike things, like
Okay.
sense of humor as well, and
Oh, so you like cartoons? You still watch cartoons?
not cartoons, not so much,
Okay.
but
Okay. Okay. Okay.
yeah, just I like children and other people too.
Yeah, I definitely
So
get
yeah,
along with children as well.
hmm
Mm, do you
but
do you
I'm
feel
definitely more down to earth now.
do you feel like you're able to start a project and then actually eventually finish it even more than before?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's something that I couldn't do when I was younger at all. Like no consistency. But finally, I'm finding the beauty of true growth and consistency. And I love, doing things for a longer period of time and finishing things. Now I do. But before, that was my pain point.
If I didn't know that you were born at this year, I would just look at the chart and go, okay, so 16 degrees Aries. So we go 16 degrees, and then we calculate that to how many degrees there are here, and that would tell me how old you are today, based on the progression of your sun.
Really?
Yeah. That's how you.
And what does it say?
Well, that's it. It's just 16. So 4 plus the 10 here. Okay. This is mathematical. So 14, 14, 19, you're 22-ish, 23.
Oh, what, my actual age?
Yeah, today.
No, I'm 10 years older than that. I'm 37.
Did I calculate that wrong? Okay. Is this progression right? Did I do the right progressions? Hold on. Did I get the dates wrong? April 7, 1986.
Fine. Yeah, 86, okay. Yeah.
Am I calculating that wrong? This is 16. 16 to 16 is to be 30.
30. Oh, yeah, 16 is 32.
16 to 16 to the next sign would be, you would be 30 years old. But it looks like right here, well, that's interesting. You progressed, but the thing is, oh, that's interesting, because that's what it shows in my chart. It shows the actual my actual age. Something is going on here.
Really?
Hold on. Oh. Let me check. Let me go back. Let's just go with the progression chart itself. Let's see what it does. Something is going on.
This is so interesting.
Oh, because I didn't change the date. Oh, goodness sakes. Okay.
Oh.
That's why. Okay, so November 4, 2023. Okay, got it. There we go. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's probably why. Because in 2005, I was 18.
Okay, there you go. Okay. Now I'm really okay. There you go. So you're 30. Okay, 16 to 16, 30. 31, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 37-ish?
Yes.
Okay, got it. There you go. So there you go.
Wow.
I had to change the date. So I was like, what the hell? Sometimes I make mistakes. Sorry, go ahead.
That's amazing though, how you can...
That's how it's usually, it's with the sun. Usually with the sun.
Oh, okay.
Here's a little bit of a detail though. So how you progress is that the sun is the identity. It's what gives us vitality. It's what makes us go like, oh, this makes me shine. Okay, I like this one. It explains why, because you like it in fashion, you like simple things, those kind of, you've appreciated that more than before. Before it was just like curiosity. It was just like here and there, where am I going, right? The, I guess you can call it the eternal child. I'm not sure if Aries would be considered the eternal child. I'm not sure. Something like that. Yeah.
I definitely, that's the thing that makes me shine, is the childishness. The childlikeness. I love, just the innocence and the curiosity and the fun and the playfulness of a child. Yeah. And I love children as well.
That explains why it's also, because if Aries was in the first 10 degrees of Aries, if the sun was in the first 10 degrees of Aries, this is called the decan placement. Decans show how the sign itself behaves slightly different by every 10 degrees. Not every 10 degrees, but the first, there's 3. There's a triad of degrees. You know this one?
No, I don't. Oh. But yeah, I'm just following you.
Okay, so the first 10 degrees would be like a typical Aries, very assertive, very, you like to go for things. But because it was in the, second third of, or between 20 and 30 degrees, It's more of the Sun Aries, not the Mars Aries. It's a Sun Aries. It's a
Okay.
explains that your childlikeness is there. That
Yeah.
explains that.
What's the sun Aries?
That it's a lot of curiosity. You're more focused on your own childlikeness. You enjoy being with children. You probably also enjoy things that children like themselves, like candy, sweet things, cakes.
I no, I don't. But then I do love children's stuff.
Okay, well
And like,
that would be like the moon. That would be like the moon. If your moon was in, let's say, Leo, that would do
yeah.
that because moon is like your eating habits, like what you like. The sun is more
Oh,
like
okay.
what children like, but not food wise. It's
Yeah.
different. It's what else is the moon? It's creativity, things that
Yeah.
so if I find that maybe you're drawn to not drawn to, but you finally yourself enjoying. Do you like children's like how they paint, how simple it is? Like you kind of enjoy. Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
I do. Yeah.
okay, yeah. Gives you. I think it makes your heart like the sun rules the heart, just like Leo does. So your heart shines. You literally you feel it here, and you go
Mm.
like when you see children playing, when you see them happy, and you're having an experience of like even if it's trauma or sadness, you start to become more like you see children and it brings you joy.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Hmm. There you
What
go.
does the moon say? Does the moon tell you about what I like to eat?
Yeah. In this case, it's a little tricky because it's Moon conjunct Mercury. First, we go into Pisces. So typically, Moon and Pisces people probably like to fast or like to have more of spiritual food. It's a little
Oh,
more,
really?
yeah, it's a little more, probably not even just spiritual food. It could also be like alcohol. It could also be things that kind of help you escape the real world. Things that maybe
Mm,
could be marijuana, could be
like drugs.
any form of drugs, any
Yeah.
form of, yeah. Mhm. Yeah. So probably food that has like
Yeah.
alcohol in it,
Hours.
food that has marijuana in it, food that, yeah, anything to kind of give you that high. Hmm.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. I definitely, yeah.
okay. There you go. Okay. Let's see where your moon has. Actually, let's go back to the sun first. I want to kind of clarify
Yes.
this because
Thank you so much for this, by the
you're
way.
welcome. Oh yeah, no, it's fun for me
Sorry.
because I kind of get to know people a little bit more, and it's kind of like,
This is incredible. It's absolutely, and your knowledge and your wisdom is just mind blowing.
oh, thank you. Really? Okay.
Really,
I
like
was
everything that I hear, I'm like, holy shit, this is like so much wisdom
okay. Thank
in
you.
the planets and
Okay, good. Okay.
like the, goddesses and because everything is, it's a pattern that you can see
Yeah,
in.
I I realized too that I it's one of the things I've learned to embrace and like, but I still have to create boundaries sometimes. This is why on the post I put in 5 people. So it's like
Yeah,
five at a time. That's really what I meant. 5 at a time. Because if I do too much overthinking, especially if I start to do a bit more research, like going back to my books instead of being more sort of like instinctive, like knowledge and
mm,
intuitive knowledge, if I go
yeah,
into more like a knowledge, it starts to hurt. It starts to
yeah.
hurt.
I
Yeah.
Oh gosh, yeah, I could imagine because there'll
Yeah.
be so much information.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So that's why I kind of just take it one one step at a time, maybe one planet at a time or something like that. If I
Yeah,
discover, yeah, like I said earlier, I introduced Polus. I never really do that. Today was the first time I've
yeah,
ever really talked about Polus because I kind of just did
mm,
it for myself, and I was like, "What's Polus? Who's Polus? What's?"
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, but again, those are kind of still new. The
Yeah.
asteroids, centaurs. You know about centaurs in mythology?
Oh yes,
Yeah,
yes.
centaurs because they're half man, half
Yeah.
horse. It represents the instinctive animalistic side with the more evolved side. So they represent
Yeah.
transitions.
Oh
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Centaur asteroids or centaur planets, whatever, they represent transitions.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did you get into astrology?
It's funny because I was just how did I get into astrology? I was just with like an old friend. We were at this like it's called the Ascendant Books here,
Hmm.
and they just have all these things spiritual. It could be religion stuff, it could be astrology, it could be tarot, it could be palmistry, it could be
Hmm.
anything. And they also had gems. That's why I wear like these things. I have like
Yeah,
gemstones.
I'm into crystals as well.
Okay, yeah, yeah. There you go. That's also part of your spiritual food as well, in a way. Yeah. Um, in 2010, I went with them, and I was just like curious, and then I saw this. This is the first book I ever got, Astrology Bible. Right.
Wow.
And this is what got me started. I was kind of like, okay, and then I kind of on and off studied it. I didn't really like try to memorize it. I was looking at like a story. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, okay, cool. And I kind of just kept studying my own chart. As I kept going, I kept going. I just like went with it.
Yeah.
It actually felt natural rather than there are some people who would
Yeah.
just cram it all in one session. I'm like, no,
Yeah, right. Absolutely. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Wow.
yeah. So
Wow.
that's
So it literally kind of flowed into you almost.
yeah, and I realized there's something about signs, like symbols that because
Yeah.
astrology is like it's symbols on a map it's a map of your
Hmm.
soul contract. And I believe there's a correlation between a chart and also do you know Dolores Cannon? You know her.
Yes, yes, yes.
What she said about past lives, how
Yes.
we actually had Atlantis
Mm.
and how the aliens were
Yeah.
actually not, you know what I mean? Like higher dimensional beings.
Things, yeah.
Yeah. So it makes perfect sense. Astrology, I believe, was a tool introduced to Earth to
Mm.
help us guide ourselves.
Yeah,
One
wow.
of the tools.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just like we need some sort of a compass.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like, goodness me,
Yeah,
like give us
exactly.
something,
Exactly. Exactly. So there you
you
go.
know?
So
Yeah,
yeah.
wow.
I've
So
even
you're
yeah,
reading the maps.
yeah. So
That's
I
really
started
fair play.
yeah, I started with natal I started with natal astrology
I'm just
and
meditating here. I just
that's okay.
meditate like hours on end to
Well,
get, messages, but you're
those are
reading the actual maps.
I mean
That's
those
really
either one is fine.
yeah.
There's actually a branch of or a discipline of astrology that what used to be the starting point of how you study astrology. It's called horary astrology or horary astrology. It means of the hour like
Mhm.
horary. So
Yes.
it's when people ask like a personal question, like something that's important to them. It's the burning question. That's what they say. It's the if you say, for example, like where are my keys? That's not a burning question. But
Mhm.
if looking for the keys or finding the keys is important for your job, for something urgent, then
Yes.
you ask an astrologer for that. And the way it's planned
Yeah.
out is a little different. It's using the time of when that question was asked, but the astrologer looking for it has to place that chart or draw up that chart not only at the time it was asked, but if the
Mm.
astrologer feels a sense of readiness. So horary astrology is more of a divination than the other one. It's more divinatory than the other disciplines.
Yeah,
This
wow. I definitely believe in divination because I used to do I Ching.
oh okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you stop?
It's,
Sorry.
yeah, no, I would love to get into it. Like I do just to ask questions. I do I Ching and tarot for myself.
Oh, tarot.
But
Okay.
I'm not like with tarot, it's I'm not really um, you know, I don't have huge amount of knowledge to really get into details,
That's
but then,
fine.
just like asking things, and getting just energy readings. And I Ching was so good because it shows you the next step, like how it changes.
Well,
Um,
I
and yeah, and divination, I feel like it can't be wrong.
no, it's not. No, it can't be.
It's like mathematics. you just cannot be wrong. Because
Okay. Kind of,
that's how I
yeah.
feel.
Well,
Almost like,
yeah, they're all connected. Like if you look at, here's how astrology would make more sense. If you look at this, the signs and how they're all the signs, how they all progress through each other, they all
yeah,
carry within each other. Even if it was like a regular chart, like you know how the 12th house is ruled by Pisces. You know that, right?
yeah,
So let's say the 12th house is okay, Pisces is right there. Even if you're transitioning from Pisces to Aries, meaning like when I say transitioning, I mean if you're talking about the connection between Pisces and Aries, yes, it's the end to the beginning. It's like a rebirth sort
mm,
of thing.
yeah,
But what I'm trying to say here is that there's always a flow between each sign, meaning that it's nothing is ever disconnected. Everything is connected.
mm-hmm,
Everything.
yeah,
Yeah. So okay, there you go. So you get it. So how this ties into the math stuff, or like how astrology can be quite mathematical. It's just like a sort of a mode of the way it's structured, but really they're all
yeah,
connected. The elements are all connected.
yeah, yeah. I agree. I absolutely agree.
That's why, and that's why when you look at astrology, you'd never want to really follow what um, the status quo is on astrology. Like you have your what you call it's what's called pop astrology on magazines, newspapers, on the internet. It's like, this is your sun, this is your sun, da, 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 da. No, you look at the reason you look at a chart is so that you can look at the whole picture,
Mm,
right? So, for
yeah.
example, if you look at the sun doesn't just rule the second house here. The sun rules also naturally the fifth house, and so does Leo. Leo is right here. So, any fifth house stuff here, in terms of like this one. So, let's say this person, or in this case, you, of course, was Pallas Athena in Cancer. This naturally means that you have this natural gift for guidance. Like you have in this inner wisdom you have is more rooted in your ancestry. Probably you also
Mm,
carried on through from your mother's side, through your family, your ancestry, your DNA, your heritage, anything to do with that because it's Cancer. But you emotionally sense things. It's the way you sense wisdom, your inner wisdom, your inner intelligence, the download. That's Pallas Athena right here, right?
right.
So
Mm,
and it comes through in the fifth house, which is relationship, children. So you kind of have this wisdom of like a child, right? So you have this inner wisdom of being more in touch with your emotions, and
mm,
it's expressed through in your relationship in the seventh house because of Leo, right?
wow.
That explains also what you grew up in. If you look at the ascendant, you naturally this in your ascendant you would have Aquarius, so you come off as a sort of quirky, eccentric individual. People might see you. You package yourself in this way. Kind of you like electrifying things. Like probably also your appearance appears Aquarius, like different, unusual, kind of. You like to dress kind of rebellious.
Mm,
It's like fuck the status quo. I'm going to dress this way, and but at the same time, that's because when you as you were growing up, you were more. It was more to the family life that you experienced, or just growing up in general, was more about having to what do you call this? Everyone was kind of a man for every man for himself. So I feel like there was a bit of a distance. So this is why you also appear distant.
mm.
This is the ascendant. Aquarius also refers to distance, cold-heartedness, when in fact,
Yeah, because
mhm,
that's what I'm trying to work through at the moment. Because, like, in my meditation, like, some really, when I go deep down, I'm realizing that, that I can be quite cold in a sense. I'm very caring and I love people so much, but at the same time, there's this quite a clear boundary where it's also okay that if they're not in my life
yes,
anymore, like,
mhm,
like that kind of. And then I'm kind of reflecting that on that at the moment, just thinking, is this? is this a wholesome mind or not? Because am I doing this because in somewhere deep did I feel abandoned and I feel some sort of a power in also kind of like not having that
Role model?
connection to people,
Connection.
or
Okay, yeah.
or like just attachment, like
Ah,
kind of,
yeah.
just even if they are not in my life, I feel completely okay. I feel like I'm gonna be okay, but then like I'm just really scrutinizing that if I'm doing that because I don't want to feel hurt, or like if I actually feel, really okay with that, like
Yeah,
that
yeah, I understand.
abandonment
Yeah.
and kind of dismissing,
Well, that,
almost.
yeah, I totally understand because it's like I have Moon in Aquarius, and but one of the things that people misunderstand about Aquarius is that people think Aquarius is cool, but that's because it has to, just like how how humans feel like if we knew everything in the universe, we would explode in a nanosecond.
Mm,
It's impossible. The limitations of the 3D this dimension limits
yeah,
our own perspective, therefore limits our own capacity for understanding and comprehending what we get, whether it's knowledge or
yeah,
experience. Yes. So that means that doesn't mean that it's wrong. It just means that it's just how it is. The three-dimensional is dense, right? The 3D is
yes,
it's dense. So you're gonna have dense approaches. You're gonna have dense knowledge. You're gonna have everything is right here.
yeah,
so so and that's just how it is. So
yeah,
I can understand that, but really what it is, Aquarius is trying to teach us, like with each sign, there's a polarity to each sign. There's a shadow of
yeah,
each sign. There's a shadow to
yeah,
everything, because that is the density. That's part of this 3D life. So yeah, but yeah, that explains it. But it's not really cold-hearted because the only capacity that is the focus of that capacity is towards the masses, right? That's
yeah,
Aquarius. When you have it as your ascendant, that's what you're going to show. That's what you're going to portray to others. This is what they think your story is. But really, it's more like just your own experiences. Because your descendant was more about every man for his own. Everybody. Maybe you kind of grew up in an environment where everybody was just looking out for himself. Um, a lot of independence, a lot of sort of me sort of thing, and that kind of
mm,
like it became this is the shadow, the ascendant descendant
yeah,
aspect. When you look at a chart, this is the shadow, which is
yeah,
there's also Saturn, which is also the shadow, and also Pluto. So there's three areas at least in astrology where you're talking about shadow stuff. So,
yeah,
but it is part of life. So, I mean, and then I look in, but the reason I'm mentioning this stuff is because it all ties in together. So where your fifth house is concerned, because it's ruled by Leo, you look into also the seventh house, but you also look at where the sun is. Therefore, you look at the second house as well. So it's all
mhm,
connected.
yeah. Wow.
So
So the fifth house, is that the house? Is that connected to sun? Is
yes,
that
it's
what you
ruled by the
mean?
sun through Leo. It's ruled by Leo first,
Oh,
and then the sun for sure. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Okay.
So the best strategy that I found was if you want to get into it more, try this book. It's a little technical because I know you have like Pisces, Mercury in Pisces, so your idea of learning capacity is more intuitive. It's more about emotions. So
Yes, you're so right. You're
yeah,
actually so right. I'm not very like, you know,
yeah,
like
yeah. You're
the
highly
sense.
intuitive. You're highly intuitive. So it doesn't mean that you cannot remember things. It just means it's expressed differently. So I would say if you want to get into astrology, don't start with natal. And I'm saying this because I sense it. This is what's better for you, like especially if it's astrology.
Yeah.
Tarot is easier because it's more divinatory. It's more like out there. What it's like, you just interpret the picture, and then you can look
Yeah.
into the sign. It's funny because
You're so right.
Yeah. Oh, same thing with like people with fire signs, like Mercury in a fire sign. They're the ones that have the hardest in memorizing, especially if, like they say, they have a sun in like a very
Mm.
stubborn sign, like Virgo, for
Aries.
example. Well, yes, Aries. You know, they want it to be perfect, especially Virgo. People with
Yeah.
sun in Virgo, but let's say, well, Mercury doesn't move further than one sign away from the sun. It doesn't. So what that means is, like I say, Sun in Aries, it can be no further than Pisces or no further than Taurus
Mm-hmm.
because it's the one closest to the sun.
Yeah.
However, there is still the moon, right? So let's say someone who has Sun in Virgo and then their moon is in Pisces.
Mm-hmm.
Depends. It could be in opposition. The aspect could
Yeah.
be in opposition, but it also means that they have to balance what they want with what they need. So indecision comes through, but at the same time, the perception of Pisces allows them to, it's not really about learning. However, if that moon was in the third house or the ninth house, they have this ability to sense things more through perception, through emotions
Yeah.
and intuition, and like really, it's very Neptunian. So, uh, so it's not really that far. But again, if your moon was in the third house, it's more of like a Mercury thing as well, right? So it depends. Or if your moon was in Gemini, so that means, and then
Mm.
your Mercury was in Virgo, Sun in Virgo, Mercury in Virgo, Moon in the third house in Gemini, that's possible. Yeah, that's possible. That means that the person will be able to, has perception, well, not Gemini, sorry. Um, no. But you get what I'm saying here? Sorry, I'm kind of, that didn't come out right because if you have Moon in Gemini, you're still analytical. What I mean is,
Yeah.
it has to be something in the water sign. So if it's in a water sign, let's say
Okay.
Moon in Scorpio,
Yeah.
right? It's more of a psychic thing. It's still intuition,
Okay.
but it's more psychic.
Yes.
So yeah, so it depends. There's lots of different things, and it depends on the aspects of the planets. If you have a
Mm.
comfortable position like a trine to your moon with your Mercury, and even if you still have Virgo sun, who cares if you want it to be perfect? You're not going to be able to perfect your learning unless it's intuitive. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Wow. So it shows like the ways that you learn as
Exactly.
well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. 'Cause you're so right. I'm not good with memory.
Yeah, that's totally fine. So what I would go is go with intuitive memory. It's cosmic memory, which is
But
very
I
powerful.
remember experiences and I learned through experiences and emotions so much. And
Absolutely.
as you said,
Very good.
intuitively, like that's my
Yeah.
biggest learning and biggest downloads.
Yeah.
That
So yeah. So what I do is, well, here's what I do. I have a tarot book here. Actually, it's by the same. I think it's by the same person. Here's my. I have a deck here. It's like the basic deck. You know, the yellow deck.
yeah.
Sorry. It's here. So I have my tarot Bible. So what I do today is, what I do is, like, when I read a tarot, I don't. I'm still new to tarot. I don't care. So what I do is I intuitively sense first what the symbols are, what they mean to me. I intuit the whole
Mm.
thing. And then I let it sit. Then I look into the book. And I don't even look at the whole description that it says here.
Yeah.
I look at the side. It says keywords, da 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 da, and that's it.
Yeah, that's actually how I do tarot as well. Pretty
Exactly.
much.
You don't need to know every
Yeah.
single fucking thing. Like,
And I
what?
feel, yeah, just more feeling
Yeah,
the pictures, but also the numbers as well, feeling the
exactly.
numbers. And
Exactly. And that's the way to go. So if you want to ever get into astrology, I would say horary astrology is probably best for you because it's more divinatory, and it's intuitive, more intuitive. There are the facts, but then you go through it one by one. Like, I mean, I've been doing astrology since 2010, and I'm
yeah,
still, I follow my heart. I follow like the adventure. I just go, okay, this is what it is.
absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. if you're not the kind of person who just wants to cram all things in your head and get a headache from it, if you're not that kind of person,
Yeah.
fuck
I
that.
can't. And it kind of disappears so quick anyway. So for me,
Exactly.
that's like, it's like waste. Because I
Exactly.
don't remember anything. Like 2 days later, there's nothing in there.
Exactly. There you go.
If I didn't experience it, I just don't remember it.
There you go. So there you go. So it's not it's totally fine. It's really about this part of this whole inner work that we do is also figuring out how, like you said earlier too, and like we all starting to know, everything is just it's temporary. So therefore, who cares if we try to control something? That'll also be temporary. The person who tries hardest will eventually lose that. Right? There's a quote I saw on Instagram. What was that? I think it was Lao Tzu who said, "Those who seek, what is it? Those who something about if you hold on, you lose it, but if you let it go, you'll keep it." Something like that.
Yeah. I agree.
Exactly.
Like,
there
you know, when we actually.
There you go. So,
that's right.
did you want to go through more? By the way, sorry. Did you want to go through more of like a bit of more progressions, like your moon? We haven't really gone through how you progress. If you want to.
Oh my god, I would love to.
Okay.
And I would love to like send you a donation as well for your time.
Oh, are you okay? If you
yeah, absolutely. It's like really coming from my heart. So
okay,
it's gonna be.
I'll let you decide on that. Okay. I'm not really looking for anything, but okay.
So much. I know you're not. I know, but then this is so beautiful, and I'm just so grateful.
Okay, thank you. Okay, yeah, it's up to you. Someone asked me though on my YouTube channel the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like, well, not the same thing. There's like, do you do free readings? I was like, well, right now I'm doing it so that I can expand my channel.
Yeah.
So I told them, I didn't say that. I said, I'm doing it for people that I've met. When I say met, as in like FTP, I didn't say FTP, but you know, it's like, so it's up. Yeah, it's really up to the people. It's up to you. So, but the one thing I did ask is so that this would be posted on my YouTube channel. You're still okay with that, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
Sure. Then we'll do that. It's not really. Technically, your face is not really showing because what it's showing here on the screen is what you're seeing, and your face is not showing up. But eventually, your face will show up back again once I go back to the main screen. So
yeah, I'm really not fast.
Oh, okay.
It's fine. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Whatever helps you.
Okay, sure. Okay. Well, I think that'll be okay. But whatever you decide after this, that's up to you. So, but we'll go with the progression of your moon.
Yeah.
Because that's usually the second thing we would look into how much it progressed because the moon moves the fastest.
Mm-hmm.
So your moon has progressed into Cancer. Okay. I'm not sure what these lines are right here. Do you see that? I'm not sure what that means, to be honest, because I tried to figure it out. I was like, what is that? So, again, I'm not sure. Like this one, oh, it must be the, let me take a look. Hold on. It must be that it's going stationary. If it's like from, let's say this one right here, like Chiron. Oh, sorry. But Chiron wasn't in your natal chart. That's weird. Why would Chiron be here? Oh, because it's transit. Sorry, transit. Oh, wait, that is the transit stuff. The green is the progression. Sorry. Now I'm... okay. Okay, so now let's go into the moon. Forget what I just said. The moon is now in Cancer. Oh, wait, actually, forgot to add one thing. Remember I told you about decans?
Decans?
Decans, like the first 10 degrees of where the sun is.
Oh, yes.
Although your decan moved to Taurus, it's not just general Taurus. It's not in the first 10. It's in the first, as you can see here, probably. It's in the last third. So that means
Oh,
it's
right.
in, yeah, so it was in 23 degrees Taurus. So that means it is more Saturn. This is more Saturn Taurus. So therefore you have more of a stronger, like, disciplined sun. You're more,
Oh,
yeah. That's a big jump from the typical Aries, which is
yeah,
Mars Aries, to like, wow, Taurus, Sun, so Saturn, Saturn Taurus. So it's like, oh,
yeah.
okay,
I
so that,
definitely have a lot more discipline now.
there you go. Yeah. So you can
Yeah,
finish projects, definitely finish projects, because um,
yeah.
Sun in Aries, even though it's what's referred to as it's an exalted planet. It means that an exaltation is this when the planet is kind of given a little bit of a boost.
Mm.
The sun is at home in Leo, right?
Hmm.
When it's in Aries, it feels comfortable there. It's kind of like going to a friend's house.
Yeah,
So it feels like you're at home, but still, it's not really the whole thing. But you're still exalted. You're kind of like, it's not the dignity, it's
yeah.
exalted. So that means you're still respected, so to speak. You know what I mean? It's like so it has that same
Oh,
energy. But
yes.
because of the curiosity specifically of Aries, Sun in Aries in general, people have like this. They have a strong initiative. They're like, boom, I want this one, boom. But because of the curiosity, the curious nature of Aries, finishing projects is not really their forte.
No, 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 no. That was my life.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
was definitely, it's literally, like you have so much fire to begin with, doesn't last any longer than
Yeah, I know.
a week at longest. And
Yeah,
then you end up with so many open things and blah blah blah.
yeah,
Yeah, that was definitely very
yeah.
painful.
Yeah, it actually applies the
But
same
yeah.
way for myself. I have Sun in Libra in
Mm-hmm.
26 degrees. So it's around here. Um, but because Libra is in what's called referred to when you have a sun that's in its rise or exaltation,
Mm-hmm.
it's in its fall in the opposite sign.
Okay.
So that means that typically I don't have a lot of like reserve like energy.
Ah, yes, right.
However,
Yes.
I have Sun conjunct Pluto.
Mm,
Sun conjunct Pluto gives me a lot of that energy that I need.
wow. Okay.
Yeah, meaning not active energy, passive kind of more like. So I'd spend the way I regenerate because Pluto is
Yeah.
a planet of regeneration as well. I regenerate a
Okay.
lot. So I usually need
Yeah.
time off. I just need, yeah, I can't be always like social. I used to never be that social, anyways.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, but yeah, my progression went into Sagittarius now. So my son, I'm more risk taking.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I forgot what degree
Yeah.
though. So, but,
Yeah. 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 Sagittarius. Because
mm,
that's more like adventurous,
yeah,
more connected to the heavens.
yeah. Like when I was in my 20s, especially like even 30s, I was more Scorpio, like definitely like
Wow.
secretive. That ties into the Pluto thing
Yeah.
too, but it's like, mm-mm. So now I'm more
Yeah.
like, it's okay. I'm gonna trust it. I'm gonna have faith. I'm gonna continue.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's
That's incredible. That's
yeah,
incredible.
yeah. It's funny how we just all progress, right? Yeah. Um.
Yeah. Wow.
So with your moon progressing into from all the way from Pisces to Pisces to Cancer. I don't know if the decans
Oh.
apply here. Let's see if it applies. Okay, let's try it because I've never tried the moon with the decans. But moon in Cancer
Mm-hmm.
compared to your moon in Pisces means that you're not just always there. You're more in touch with your emotions. You're more in
Yeah.
touch with uh, what's important to you for regarding, let's say, also like security.
Yeah.
It also explains how you're more accepting of your earthly self,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you're more in touch with your own emotional security,
Mm-hmm.
hmm more. you bring in that Piscean thing, combine it with the Cancer sort of feel to appreciate earthly food and have a higher regard for it and have respect for it. And
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So did you say the third decan? Is that what it's called?
Oh yeah, it would the moon here would be in the third decan, but
Yeah.
it would be in so moon, so Cancer, Scorpio. So we have Moon, Pluto. Ah, okay, Neptune. So it's still, it still now goes back to the Neptune, which rules your moon sign. Um, you understand what that means when I say rules
Yeah,
your moon
what
sign?
was the Neptune again?
Neptune is the planet of transcendence.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
So, but we're talking about progressions here, but I'm sure there's something that we can talk about. Like, yeah, I don't want to confuse you that much, but
Yeah, yeah.
it's in its third decade, so I'm not sure. Do you feel like more? I don't know, because it's if we apply the decans to the moon, that would mean that it would still be kind of Pisces. Your moon would still be similarly Pisces, but more about security, more about
Yeah.
family as well. You're more in touch
More
with your
connection
DNA.
to more
Uh-huh.
grounded kind of
More,
connection to
that's
yourself.
right. But because it's ruled by Neptune, because it's like if we're talking about decans, it's a Neptune Cancer. So it's more out there. It's the emotions are more. It's more given towards uh, emotional release, emotional faith, emotional like kind of like relinquishing.
Yeah.
Do you feel like your
Yeah.
moon is more like that now?
Yeah, absolutely. More like transformation,
Okay, there you go.
more like
Okay.
more so much more connected to myself and my body and to earth and grounded, but at the same time through that so much more to be able to experience so much more transcendence
Yeah, that's
through
right.
being so connected to being more grounded. Like there's more power
Mm-hmm.
to yes, to the spirit and transcendence as well.
Yeah, that's right. Because
Yeah.
the Neptune is also the search for unconditional love. Not not
Yeah.
so much unconditional love like earthly unconditional love, which is Ceres. Um, because Ceres is more Mother Earth unconditional love. Neptune is
Hmm.
like out there. It's
Yeah, right.
idealism, right? So,
More more universal.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
So I keep wondering though, because you notice how you see Pallas Athena right there.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if progression charts should also include aspects to the planets as in their progressed self. I don't know if that applies because I don't see a mark here. I'm not sure
Hmm.
because you see that you talked about the whole like connection with the spirit, being able to just being more connected and like guided. That's
Yeah.
still Pallas Athena.
Oh.
So I'm not sure if the aspects would apply to progress planets because they're just progressions. They're not actually the bodies themselves that are moving. Like the planets don't really move per se. Like once you're, I'm talking about natal chart wise.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if they apply. Does
Mm.
that make sense? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
All
I don't
right.
know. Let's go to Mercury. Let's see if how much Mercury has progressed. Okay, it has. It's also in Taurus, like your sun. So definitely more uh, patience. You have more patience in the way you communicate. More,
Yeah.
yeah, groundedness. More, what do you call this? Taurus is also named. I heard that it is named. It's the what's it called? It's the builder. It's the builder of the zodiac. The one that goes
Right.
slowly, one block at a time, one brick at a time.
Yeah.
hmm
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
hmm So
That was
you,
a huge yeah, I definitely wasn't patient, but
mm.
I'm absolutely a lot more patient.
What's interesting
With
is though that
building.
yeah. So what is interesting is that Mercury. in Taurus would mean that you also have improved memory.
Yeah, right.
There you go.
Yeah,
So, mhm,
because yeah, I feel like maybe because there's less impatience, I can actually recall things a bit better.
there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Mhm. Be careful though. You know, I don't know if you know this, but Pisces Pisces has a strong belief in the world and the universe.
Mm.
So be careful not. I think you know this already. Not don't be careful of who you trust and who you believe without resistance,
Mm.
because there's a tendency for gullibility. Sorry to say that, but
Whoa, that is me. I am so gullible and I'm so naive.
and that's not a bad thing. I'm just saying it's learning to create those boundaries. The older you get, of course, your Mercury will definitely. When your Mercury, obviously, we'll know this by the time you get much older. Your Mercury will eventually get to Cancer, so you'll know how to be more conscious about how much what you believe. Your intuition will be
Mm.
more. Is that true? Is that real?
Yes.
Especially when it's gone through that Gemini thing. When I say gone through, I mean you're still this DNA that's been stamped on you from birth is still going to be what it is. The
Yeah.
progression just shows us how much that sign has technically changed. It's kind of
Yeah.
changed its nature a little bit.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but once it gets to Cancer, it'll be a little more factual. It'll be a little more shrewd, tenacious.
Yes.
Right?
Thank God for that.
Yeah,
Thank you for telling me that,
yeah.
actually.
Welcome. So, yeah. So the gullibility will be more like I'll trust the people. I'll trust once I have the connection. But
Yes.
like, yeah. So you're learning to be a little more grounded.
Mm.
And yeah, because this is also your North Node. This shows how right away your path is more towards finding out your own journey, discovering independence through your own efforts and through your own, that Mars thing. It's Aries, right? Trudging through life and really learning from it. Even though you're still
Mm.
childlike, you kind of you thicken the lens of life, but without
Yeah.
resistance. Watch out for that. Whereas before, you were just like, ah, it's okay. Yeah, okay, you can do it. Whatever you want. Okay, whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. 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 Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah. That is, that was me.
There you go. Now let's look at Venus and how it's progressed. Venus was in Taurus, now in Gemini. Ah, okay. You're more flirtatious. You're a little bit more.
In Gemini? Oh, Venus, is
Yeah,
it?
Venus now progressed to Gemini.
Where was my Venus before, sorry?
Taurus, right here.
Oh,
Yeah, right here.
yeah, okay.
So,
Yeah.
well, I guess we can do that one. Sorry. So Venus was in Taurus before. Oh, it's still in Taurus, of course. It's still there, but it's progressed through. It progressed as a Geminian sort of Taurus. It's like more open to um, just being more flexible, just being a little more
Yeah.
adaptable. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, not so
Yeah.
not so stubborn.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
feel that. Yeah,
Yeah. So
definitely.
yeah,
Oh, that's nice.
yeah, and definitely more like you're open to more information regarding the people that you talk to, regarding,
Mm.
instead of just like I want it this way. This is what gives me pleasure. Now it's more like
Yeah.
that's okay. That's what they
Yeah.
want. So you kind of balance it more like you're you
Yeah.
and I'm me, sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. That's
And
great.
I'm
That's
gonna
a
go.
great learning.
You're, I'm gonna go through just the personal planets up to Mars. If you want to go further
Yeah.
than that, you can. Let me know. But Mars doesn't move as fast as the other one. So Mars, where was your Mars? Mars was in Saturn, Capricorn. It's still in Saturn.
Oh, right.
However, let's see if the deacons apply here. Okay, let's see if so if the deacons applied here, Mars
Mhm.
in the first 10 degrees of Saturn or Capricorn would mean it's Saturnian. But after that, it becomes more Taurian, and becomes more Venusian. Your Venusian Mars. So Venusian
Mm.
Mars
Also
is more.
Venetian month. Yeah.
Oh, Venusian Capricorn. Sorry, Venusian Capricorn is more open to pleasures, more open to the instead of success oriented. It's more about I'm gonna work through it and then just go with every moment. You know,
Yeah.
because Taurus, the sign of Taurus rules the second house, which is ruled by Taurus is ruled by Venus. The second house, or rather Taurus, carries from it the what do you call it? The childlike or the kind of like being present ability of Aries to be more like in the moment and just enjoy it. It's
Mm.
here and there. So when Taurus carries that over, it's more like it's also in the moment. So it's not curious about perfection like Virgo as an earth sign. It's not
Yeah.
concerned about perfection like Virgo and succession like reputation like I'm just like I'm gonna work and I'm gonna earn it and I'm gonna do my thing and I'm just gonna be happy with what I have. It's just it's worth, it's self-worth, it's value, it's you know what I'm saying? So it's Venusian.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel,
Yeah. But
actually.
pertaining to Mars, it's more about like your initiative. Because you have Mars in Capricorn is you naturally know how to behave like I'm not sure sorry, you know how to work through things and take action, but in a very stabilized way. That's definitely Capricorn. But with the progression, if we apply the deacons here,
Mm-hmm.
it would mean that you work hard at something, but you're not concerned about the end goal about your act when it comes to your action. You're not
Yeah.
concerned about work that's going to yield wonderful, successful results. You're not concerned about that. You're
Yeah,
less
no, I'm not actually.
okay. So it
Oh, that's so
okay,
true.
there you
I'm
go.
actually, yeah.
Well,
Wow.
that thing you're telling me also means it's also shows here because you have Neptune conjunct Mars. Neptune is very trusting. So I'm not sure if the deacons apply here. I'm not sure. We'll see. But it kind of feels like it kind of does. But because of the
Mm.
Neptune there, I'm not sure. So, but either way, it would be still, if the deacons do apply
Mm.
here, then your Venusian Capricorn Mars would be definitely more practical, not so focused on what the world thinks of you. You're more
Yeah.
concerned about the beauty of the action itself, the beauty of the
Yes.
initiative. Okay,
Yeah. That's
that's
exactly how I feel.
okay. That's still Neptune though.
Is
So
it?
yeah, it's still
Oh,
Neptune because you have Neptune conjunct your Mars here. So when you take action, you take initiative. When you do things, even when you get angry, it's not anger because it is in Capricorn.
uh-huh.
And so it's you're slow. You're one of those slow to anger people, like very slow to anger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm generally really slow as well.
Oh, that's fine. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I know. I have my sister has Mars in Taurus, so I understand. She moves she moves slowly.
So, so, so what was the first decan of Capricorn again?
In Saturn, and then
And
you follow the where the next sign is, the next Earth sign, and you go with their
mm,
planet, their ruling planet. So the
Saturn.
next,
Yeah.
you got it?
And yeah, and the Saturn. What is Saturn again? Is it the teacher or no? Like discipline? Did you say?
Yeah, Saturn is limitations, discipline, conservation, old age,
Yeah.
karmic
Mm.
cycles, time, fears. It deals with our fears. It deals with wisdom as well. It deals with many
Yeah.
things that are very Saturnian, that is very like creating boundaries
Yeah.
and saying this is where we stop. Let's slow down, slow down. It also rules matter. So
Ah, okay.
anything that's matter. Venus is more about the appreciation of matter and material things. But
Yes.
when things form, when things start to crystallize, it also rules
Yes.
crystallization. Mars rules. That's why it rules the bones. Yeah,
Mm.
rules the bones. We didn't even get into what I consider somewhat I do sometimes partial medical astrology when I do some readings, but we didn't even do that today.
Wow, this is incredible.
Yeah. So you're welcome. I mean, yes, it is incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's how much you progress with the personal planets because personal planets are more personal. So
Yes.
I'm not going to go into Jupiter or Saturn because those are what's called transpersonal planets.
Mm.
They're more like, it's hard to explain what transpersonal planets really do. They're kind of more like the bridge between the individual and the collective.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Oh, okay.
like if you
Yeah,
think
yeah.
about Jupiter, it's expansion, right? So it's not really a personal thing, like it's not part of your identity, so to speak,
Mm.
right?
Yeah, right.
It can be, it still is,
Mm.
in particular because, uh, according to historical astronomy, I think it's historical astronomy, Jupiter was supposed to be our second sun, technically.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's why it's so huge.
Oh,
It's mostly
wow.
a gas planet. It's a gas planet.
Yeah.
So it's fucking huge, right? So,
Yes.
but Jupiter also acts like Jupiter rules the law. And what that means is like it is about law, but it also rules regulations that help us to proceed with life. So it's not
Mm.
just expansion, but having sort of that relationship with how we grow and how we connect with what's out there, with what's in here.
Mm.
It's connecting the two and seeing how else we can go beyond, right? And because it
Yeah.
rules law, it ties into the astronomical information that I don't know if you know this, but Jupiter was the reason why we didn't have today we don't have a lot of asteroids bombarding the planet.
Right.
And
Because
also
of,
the moon does that. The moon did
yeah.
that. If you look at the moon today, there's like asteroid and meteor marks on the moon.
Yeah.
It's the emotional. This is why there's instinct in the moon as well. The moon represents instinct, the
Yeah.
struggles you had to go through lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes.
Yes.
It's interesting. And this is also why Jupiter is exalted in Cancer, because moon rules Cancer. It
Mhm.
makes perfect sense. It's like, oh, it's
Yeah.
like a protector. It's our
Yeah.
protector, right? So Diana and Jupiter, or Zeus and Demeter, have always kind of been protecting us.
Yeah. Wow.
So with that with that being said, in a way we can say that I don't think your Jupiter has progressed that much. If you looked at Jupiter, see, they're not showing Jupiter here. There's no progression. Or is
Mm.
there? Nope. See, they're not showing Jupiter, right? They're not showing a progressed Jupiter. They're not
Mm.
showing a progressed Saturn here as well. You see, there's no green planet with Saturn. But that means it's not
Yeah.
personal. hmm
Mm.
However,
Wow.
however, we have a Juno. It stays this.
Yeah.
It's where it is, so that's not a big problem. Uh,
Yeah.
your Ceres is still where it is.
Yeah.
Pallas Athena has changed a bit.
Mm.
So your inner wisdom, your inner intellect, your inner guidance, so to speak. Yes, and literally and figuratively. It's if we were to apply the decan here, it'd be more Neptunian. It's a Neptunian Pallas Athena. It's more, yeah, it's definitely really out there.
Yeah. It's it.
Yeah, so this explains why you're more in touch with you're more in touch with when especially when you could become more childlike when you start to embrace your son, when you start to embrace your childlikeness, which is what it is anyways. Because remember, your sun was in the second decan, so that means you're a
Mhm.
Leo. You're 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 a Leo like Aries. But it shows because you know the Leo and the sun rules the fifth house. But where was Pallas Athena? It was in your fifth house. Now
Mm.
it's progressed through the sixth house technically, but I don't think the
Yeah.
houses apply here. But it means that your ability to be more childlike, to be more in trust. When you're childlike, it's not just childlike. You actually have more ability to trust the subconscious part of yourself, which is, I'm not talking just about the brain subconscious, I'm talking about that inner primordial connection to the cosmos, subconscious.
Mm.
So that's where it shows me. That's how it's progressed. This is why now it's a Neptunian. It kind of maybe is, but it's still progressed. That's what it's showing me. At least
Yeah.
that it's you're becoming more open to your own spirituality when you meditate, for sure.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay. Your ascendant moved? Really? That's weird. Ascendants moved? Really? I didn't know that. Okay.
What's that?
Oh, I didn't. I thought that ascendants didn't move. Okay. Well. Okay. So it's moved. So now it's in Aries. That means people see you more as an adventurous person. They see you as more like you look for. You're more like a daredevil. People see you as like you're in for it. You're in for it. Just go for it. You're gung ho about things. That's what's changed.
Yeah.
Instead of just that quirky, eccentric self, you're less distant. You're more like you're still more focused on yourself, but not as not as cold hearted.
Yeah.
So
Right.
yeah. Okay.
So,
Okay, go
do
ahead.
ascendants move normally?
Yeah, I did
They
not
do.
know that. I thought I did not pay attention to this until today. I was like, oh, I see the AC. So the orientation point, the angular houses, I guess they move. Oh, okay. They consider that the ascendant moves, but the descendant should also move. That's interesting. It should move because they're always
Yeah.
connected. So if your
Mm.
ascendant is like you showed, it's more Aries, that means your descendant is more Libra. So you definitely get along with people a little bit better.
Mm.
You're more of a people person, but without, you know what I'm saying? It's not people pleaser, but people person. Or like when you
Yeah,
have,
I
yeah,
definitely am.
there you go. Okay. Yeah, there you go. So, and your MC has also moved, midheaven, which is how the world sees you. Your
Oh,
reputation,
okay.
yeah, your reputation. It was when you were born, it's according to this one, it was in
Yeah.
Sagittarius, so that means
Yes.
it's well, we have Saturn there, conjunct Saturn there. No, is it conjunct? Yeah, it is conjunct. So early limitation, you probably, I don't know if you still do, but generally you probably have to go through your own fears to where you're successful in life.
Yeah.
But because it's transitioned over, and you kind of, well, okay, typically you have, when you have the angular houses, they're a little different from the houses themselves. The actual orientation point, these are actually orientation points. The MC, the thick line, you know, the black line.
Yeah.
Those are orientation points. They are
Mhm.
connected directly to the house it's in. They're really pretty much the same. But the way it works is that they're kind of more like the faces of those houses. It's like your
Oh,
role. In this case, it's about your role in society. If the ascendant is the role or the mask of your persona, your first
yes.
house, your body, your image, meaning it's the front, it's what the front of that house is. That means that the rest
Yeah.
are all the same too. So it also means role, not just mask. Your role in, let's say, the fourth house, which is your IC right here, or Imam Kwel or Nadir, was that you were the kind of fun-loving, youthful kind of individual who loved learning.
Mm.
And the opposite of that, how the world sees you and how you connect with the world. You know, you start when you're later, you start to build the reputation, but really how the world sees you first, rather than
Mhm.
MC is different from AC. I mean, AC is your ascendant is like how you choose to package yourself in the world.
Yeah.
MC midheaven is
Okay.
how you package how your world sees you.
Oh,
So
right.
with it being originally yes, and still is Gemini and Nadir, Nadir and Gemini, where you're more youthful, you know, more energetic, you know, you're more curious about learning.
Mhm.
The world sees you otherwise. That you're kind of like probably philosophical. That you're kind of have this sort of you have ideals, you have like
Yes.
visions and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
again, we have Saturn conjunct your midheaven. So here comes
Yeah.
the limitations. Oh my goodness. You know.
Yeah.
But how that's changed specifically just with the MC, like in terms of your role, your mask towards how the world sees you, it's changed where now public people see you as serious.
Mm.
Not how you package yourself to them. They see you more as
Yeah.
like committed, you're more disciplined.
Yeah, that makes actually so much sense.
There you go. So you progress. So
You're right.
there you go.
Yeah.
So I'll keep in mind now that when it comes to progressions, the midheaven and or basically the
Yeah.
orientation points, they move. So okay.
They move as well.
I did not know that. I did not know that. Okay.
Wow. So you know when they progress, does it mean they go through these signs and then that's
Yeah.
where it end up?
Yeah. This is they learn
Okay.
also you progress also means that you experience, like for example your moon, it's progressed through Gemini, it's progressed through Taurus, and it's progressed through Aries.
Yeah, okay.
So
Wow.
so that means first you were younger, you had to your perception of the world, how you were drawn to the world itself, or your environment, or anyone, specifically with people like family, you were more curious about it. You started becoming more earthly, and then it kind of you had kind of just trudged through Taurus. You kind of just felt like, okay, maybe I'm not sure about this one, and you kind of maybe had to go through resentments. You had to go through sort of like people you've lost because it's like you had to harden yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then eventually you started letting go and saying like
Mm-hmm.
fuck all, like I'm just gonna do what I can. And but you kind of had to go through sort of like a I need to inform myself phase. Which is still like Pisces, which in this case kind of it's kind of like ugh, really information, ugh, data, ugh. But your moon had to do that. You had to progress through that challenge of like becoming less intuitive, more in here, cerebral.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
And then
I
now you
definitely
trust,
do
and
that.
then now you're going with the information to see where do my boundaries lie. Your crab like moon is now coming out and becoming more solid. It's become definitely more solidified and going, I know where my boundaries are.
Mm.
Yeah. And then as they progress through Leo, then that will become a lot more. The childlike thing will come through. You'll probably start to even like those instead of the alcoholic stuff. You like probably like what children like. You start to appreciate the moon. Remember I told you about it's like food that you like. It's
Yes.
habits. Yeah. So with moon, if you have with the moon progressing through Leo, you might go back to like enjoying sweet stuff. Well, probably, but less
Like
less
exciting.
toxic, less about the alcohol, less about
Yeah.
escapism, just appreciating it for what it is. Yeah, and simplifying things as well. Making
Mhm.
it more about yourself, making it more about, oh, okay, how do I shine for me? How do I
Yeah.
become more childlike without anybody's approval?
Yes. Yeah, because like even, like a couple of years ago,
Mm.
I was definitely I wouldn't say no to, alcohol or drugs. I loved it. Like I was living in Berlin and
Oh, okay.
really, like my life was exploring. I mean, like I had been for a while anyway, but
Yeah.
I literally felt I could connect to the heavens so much easier
Mm.
through drugs.
Because it's
But then,
escapism. That's Pisces. That's
yeah,
Neptune. Yeah.
but now like since like a year, I haven't touched anything, and I feel so happy.
Mm.
Just it's it's not like I'm trying not to, but I just feel so happy
Mm-hmm.
even I'm not.
Exactly.
So
There you go. I mean, it's whether it's through astrology or through experience, you're still gonna go through those anyways. It's what you chose to do.
mm,
Your chart is just showing us the information.
Yeah.
It's already there.
Incredible.
Yeah. So I think that's that for the progressions. I
Yeah.
think we've done everything. Yeah. Oh, Vesta hasn't changed much. But Vesta is. Oh! Oh, sorry. Never mind. I thought it was green. Never mind. Forget it. That's a transit. That Saturn there is a transit. So, um, but Vesta has moved a little bit. Vesta
What is
is
this?
Vesta is our devotion to our, you can say, purity.
Oh,
Like
okay.
so that we feel more connected with the divine through the earthly realms. It's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like Vesta is kind of like Pallas Athena in a way, but Pallas Athena is more about wisdom and in strategic intellect. It's kind of like knowing where to balance things based on how you fight. You know how you go through your own battles, how you
Mm-hmm.
process what is right and what's wrong. Right?
Yeah.
Pallas Athena actually coincides, not rules, coincides with the sign of Sagittarius. So philosophy, wisdom, visions, and this kind of thing. Law as well, a little bit.
Yeah. Wow.
But Vesta is the sees the Vesta in ancient Rome. Vestal virgins were said to preserve the sacred fire of purity, the sacred fire of it rules Kundalini.
Yeah. Wow.
So it's the energy that in us that is about. It's not just purifying or being pure. It's more about how do you call this? It is devotion, so it's kind of like commitment, like Juno,
Mm-hmm.
but it's more about seeing where your purpose can be fulfilled through a physical way, through the body,
Mm-hmm.
without you for example, I would say it's not just Kundalini, but I think Vesta also rules tantric sex
Mm.
because Vesta coincides with the signs of Scorpio and Virgo. So Virgo is
Okay.
purity, right? But
Yeah.
Scorpio
Oh
is
wow. Yes.
Scorpio is taboo sex, or there's a reason
Yeah.
why sex is taboo for Scorpio because when I say sex, I don't necessarily mean like the acting of sex. It's not
Yeah.
just it's not that. It's the giving of,
Mm-hmm.
it's sacrifice, it's the giving of, it's trusting, full vulnerability. But when you
Mm-hmm.
combine the two together, it's more like
Wow.
what is vulnerability? What is it's faith, it's trust, it's
Mm-hmm.
courage,
Yes.
but at the same time with the right amount of um, acknowledgement of what is enough.
Mm-hmm.
Is this your body when it needs to have enough energy? That's when you do it. When you need enough, this it's enough. It's enough. It's not creating boundaries. It's more like accepting that the body has its own cosmic and universal and like whole ability to heal and to process life and
Mm.
experiences within it that comes along with it. So that's Vesta. Vesta is, yeah, Vesta protects us
Wow.
actually. Vesta is the, because it's so pure, it's really about purity and devotion.
It's so fascinating.
Yeah.
So
So,
fascinating.
um,
My Vesta is in Pisces.
yeah. So that
And in
means a devotion towards a spiritual journey for yourself, specifically how you start to respect your body.
yeah.
And if you've gone through a Kundalini awakening, like
I
Victor,
have. Yeah.
that means that Vesta's kind of spark, the sacred fire is there. It's symbolic, of course, but it is there. You know what I mean. Whether it's there or if it's whether it's literal or figurative, either way, it's there.
Yeah.
So it's when I say sacred fire, I'd also mean like your essence, basically.
Mm.
It kind of Vesta reminds you of like your essence of the earthly essence that was born out of the consciousness, as Eckhart puts it, the consciousness growing itself into this dimension. It's awareness. That's what consciousness really is. The consciousness is the universe itself making itself
Mm-hmm.
conscious into this form and creating. But you can't just keep creating. Sometimes you gotta have destruction. So the essence of where that is, I feel Vesta is that sort of like that thing that worms its way into creation. But it has to be in its own regard, in its own form. It has to have full, complete devotion to. It's the act of devoting yourself to the. Whether you understand or know something is not the point. The point is when you're devoting yourself to a certain path, the devotion itself will help you understand why you're even getting there.
Yeah, wow.
So in this case, devotion to your own growth, which is because it's tied to Jupiter right there. Right? Yeah. I have Vesta in Leo, but it's Vesta. I think my Vesta was retrograde, or was it not retrograde? I totally forgot. But mine's in Leo, so definitely more childlike stuff for me.
Yeah,
creativeness.
wow.
Yeah. So and it's conjunct my North Node. So for me, I'm like, okay, respect the North Node, go for it. Yeah. But that's for me. Like your North Node will definitely be something that's still part of your life. But whether you commit to it or not is not, that's not the point. Your devotion now comes through your own growth. This is what it's telling me at least.
Wow, that's incredible.
Okay. I mean, yes. So, yeah. And it's at home too in Pisces. Jupiter is at home in Pisces, so it works well. But it's square to it's square to Saturn. Yeah, so the Saturn there is showing us the needed limitations, internal fears that you may have about your own growth and your personal well-being. So but that Saturn is teaching you. Having those fears is a good thing because that means I've always heard this. This is my kind of like link to Saturn, sort of. This quote from thing that Gabrielle Bernstein used to say. She says it still in her books. It's in her books, and she kind of still says it as a message. She said, "Thank you." The prayer is, "Thank you for showing me what I do not want, so that it may reveal to me what I do want." Kind of almost like Saturn, like creating the boundary. And it's like, okay, this is what I don't want. So it's basically linked to resentment because if you have resentment, you have resentment because you don't want to do that. So fuck that. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. And then it reveals to you what you do want. And then you start to become more honest with yourself, right?
Yes.
In this regard, Vesta kind of shows that in a way for you, especially with the first house, Vesta, your own personal journey, your health, your overall health, your body, how you appear to, whether it's the world or yourself, doesn't matter. Having that mirror for yourself and saying, okay, commitment to your own personal growth and journey. And it still goes with you still have emotional growth too, because you have Moon and Mercury conjunct there. So your understanding of personal growth also comes into play. Even though the Moon is only conjunct to Jupiter, but Mercury is not, that doesn't matter. The point is they're affecting each other there. So is that okay?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Oh my God. Joseph, you're incredible.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely mind-blowing.
So, thank you. I think that's it for now. The transits, it's 7:52 here. So is that okay? Like I have to get ready for a different session, not astrology. It's
oh my gosh! Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Gosh, I'm just so grateful, and thank you so much for your time. It's
okay.
For such a long session as well. But like, oh my goodness me, like it's just absolutely incredible, mind blowing, and your wisdom just coming through is just so awe-inspiring. Really.
Thank you. Are you okay?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, like I know you're okay, but
yeah, this is you're so gifted.
Thank you.
This is like
I'm honoring also my North Node, meaning I'm honoring my childlikeness too. This is part of that.
Yeah.
Apparently I'm supposed to be more inspiring. I suppose I'm supposed to be inspiration, meaning I chose to be, and so I'm
Yeah.
following that instead of like the old patterns. You know, so.
Yeah. But you're inspiring with depth and
Well, thank
wisdom.
you, thank you.
It's just, I feel the sublimity in this.
Oh, okay, thank you. Okay,
Wow.
wow, okay,
Gosh. Yeah,
okay,
this is, it's a true inspiration.
okay.
Wow, thank you so much.
You're
You're
welcome.
just so full of knowledge as well on top. Knowledge, wisdom, and also childlikeness, which will I think we all relate to anyways.
Yeah.
Especially me, because I'm a big fan. But
Okay, thank you.
yeah, but yeah, wow.
I also have to learn how to embrace compliment because
Yeah.
in my South Node it was in Aquarius. So I'm just like, okay, but not so
I know,
much.
me too. Yeah, I have the
Yeah,
same thing.
yeah,
I have
yeah,
the same thing.
yeah, yeah.
I
Exactly.
really have the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
thing.
Aries and Leo are about leadership. So I totally yeah. So yeah, you have to follow. Yeah, yeah. I would say like I think you're already following your North Node, so that's good. Like you're going at it. So what do you think about? Are you planning to do more astrology? Is it kind of if you again, like I said, you could go into horary astrology if you want to. I don't know much about horary
Yeah.
astrology.
Yeah, yeah, well, now I'm just really fascinated of what can be read through astrology.
Yeah, yeah,
Like as you said, it's like a map.
yeah. It
So
is.
this
Yeah,
is a
that's
really
right.
amazing guidance.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I definitely would like to learn and see. Maybe, yeah, just as you study your own chart, maybe there will be some guidance and messages.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
Try. I don't know. This one's a little bit more creative and fun.
yeah, that looks more like my vibe. Like
Yeah,
even
but
the cover.
yeah, yeah, that's right. It is like there's a lot of color. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It is because it's color coded. It's like all these things, and so yeah, it has pictures. Yeah, this one's definitely like technical. Like it literally,
Yeah,
it just has symbols and words. Like
yeah,
da. You see that it's like words,
yeah.
words, words. Da da da. Okay, it's not, but it's the one that's helped me to kind of stabilize the information I got. So I kind of use these two
Mm.
main ones. I have two other books that go deeper into astrology. If you want, you can try because you're more on the poetic side as well, because that's Pisces. Um, this one, which one's the first one? Inner Sky, Stephen Forrest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
by Stephen Forrest. It's poetic. When he describes it, it's like he talks about the planets as if they're people.
yeah.
Try that.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can try
Yeah.
that.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but into directly into aura astrology, I'm not sure. Stephen Forrest is quite good with descriptions, but
Yeah.
see if he has an orrery book. I don't know, but yeah. But you're still doing tarot, right?
Yeah. Well, do you know the director Alejandro Jodorowsky?
No. At first, I thought no.
He made some incredible films like Holy Mountain, um,
How does that sound
Holy
familiar?
Blood. I think Santa Sangre. He's like, yeah, he's incredible, but he's so magical. So he reads tarot as well, and he'll go to these
Okay.
random cafes like in Spain and stuff, and he will just read tarot for people. And then so I actually got a tarot from him, but so it's a different tarot. It's that first European tarot,
Hmm.
the French one.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah,
Okay.
and yeah, so I do that, but I think that he was saying there's a tiny difference. It's a bit more to do with filling the numbers as well.
So a bit also with numerology?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
It looks like this. Harrow then must feel like this.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. It's kind of like
Yeah.
okay. Those kind of tarots. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I do this. It's been really good. I mean, like I don't do it very often. But yeah, so yeah, it definitely helped me just to, like really fill into the numbers. And then that's, with I Ching as well. You also have the numbers there as well.
So you combine the two in a way when you do readings, like.
Not so combine them, but then I will probably do it separately and then, kind of cross-reference or.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because you're still divining in the process.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, because I've been like only once in a while been looking. Actually, it's only been like was it a few weeks ago that I reopened my deck, and I have the traditional. I wouldn't say traditional. Maybe it's the breath. It's the white. What is it called? Breath. Oh no, it's a Rido tarot. Wait, this one.
Yeah,
That's
that one.
because I wasn't sure what to start with when I got it. I was like, okay, well, I'll go with the basic one to start with. And ever since I've been using this one. But the last time I opened it was like a few weeks ago. And before that was like years ago. My focus was astrology.
Yeah. Oh gosh, but you're so gifted in astrology. I'm sure like the more you study astrology as well, like these will come quite naturally as well, I think. Because I think they're connected.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure all of them, even the I Ching and then all that.
Yeah,
oh yeah,
right. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I actually kind of got fascinated when I was a kid and seeing what if it was like pure divination, like the crystal ball stuff, like psychic. I don't know. So apparently I have psychic gifts. You would have one too because you're very intuitive, right? But I've always kind of doubted that.
Me too.
It's like my psychic abilities. What psychic abilities? But apparently it's true that I feel like psychic abilities come through when you really pause and you start to sense that there's some sort of strong sensation that you get that it's not physical really, but it's sort of it's like it's there, it's in the ether, and then you get it.
Yeah.
Like when someone's gonna say something and it's gonna be right, or at least very close to it. It's an emotional analysis, not an intellectual one. And you get it, and then you're like, and then what they say is what they say, and you're like, yeah, I knew that. That's the psychic thing. But I was like, how do you make that stronger? But I was like, okay. Then it goes back to the not only meditation, but like even what Eckhart Tolle says, like in terms of like really just going into like tapping into your body and then the ground and the earth. Because I don't know about you, but I find that there's a lot of people who have not only sun signs in an earth sign, even with Mercury, even with the moon, if they have moon in the earth sign, for some reason, they're quite psychic. They're like, I don't know about this. I don't know what it is. Like Earth. No, I was like, Earth, how?
Yeah, you know what? I feel like you really need to connect the two to really strengthen that. And so if you're already you have the connection to the space and the ether to download, but you need to really pull that clear energy through your body. So you really need to have a really strong connection to your body to get clear messages, I feel.
Yeah, that's right.
How I feel. Because the more I meditate, the more connected that I feel with like my body, like down to like your cells and the subtle energies. And this really physical body, you get clearer messages because you're so more in tune with your body. You can really decipher the messages more clearly. And that's what I find. And that's maybe it will help you as well, like to really meditate. And when you really get in deep, and then you started to feel these subtle energies in your body, and you can read what your body is saying to you more clearly, and you can receive more messages coming through clearly from your subconscious that you need to work through. And then also the wisdom that comes with it when you ask questions. And then there's always this wisdom that comes through and tells you the answer. And you're like, holy shit. So, yeah, I think it's really having that really solid connection with your body can really strengthen that. That's my learning, actually.
I think because of I already have very sensitive sensations. Like, having my moon was in Aquarius in the 8th house.
Yeah.
And it's square to my Mercury, Lilith, Uranus conjunct, the stellium, in Scorpio in the 4th house. And also square Mars in Sagittarius. So it's a physical nervous. I sense this physical nervousness. So I feel like going with that nervousness, grounding myself a lot more. Like I'm already vegan.
Yeah.
I eat once a day. So I'm basically
Wow.
fasting. So I'm definitely a lot more sensitive in terms of the subtle energies. But
Yeah, amazing. Wow. Yeah.
I think this is why when I'm reading charts now, it's a lot more intuitive than anything.
Yeah, well, there you go. I think it's all coming through though, like all your intuition, like and your wisdom. It's just almost feels like channeled messages.
I can definitely like read body language. That's a given.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what do you call this? Yeah. So there's that. What else? Okay, that's it. That's all. Okay. Did you have any more questions?
No, I just want to thank you so much for your time.
No problem.
And and then what? Can I send you some donation?
It's up to you. I feel kind of, to be honest, I feel kind of like bad about that. Not bad, but I'm like.
No, you have to practice to receive.
Okay, thank you.
So.
Okay, it's up to you. Sure.
Yeah. So what would be the best way? Do you take, I don't know, like, do you want to send me, do you have Stripe or do you have PayPal?
PayPal.
Yeah, okay.
So, okay, I don't know how that works though. I don't know how to.
You can just, if you want to message me on Full-Time Purpose, your PayPal email. Right?
They have an email? I did not know that.
Yeah, your login email.
Oh, the email that I use for PayPal?
Yeah. Or it must, or use, if you log into your account, you see like a pay ID or, like.
Okay.
Or generally it's your email address. But,
okay, I'll send you the email address.
Yeah.
Okay, if you want, like, yeah. But it's okay, whatever. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, oh my God, thank you so much. I feel so happy and so blessed that I got to know more about my signs, and even like how you could pinpoint the estimate of like when I was born, because it really resonated after me.
Well, that's good. That means that it's definitely around 3:30-ish, between 3:30, kind of. It's very close to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So some parts of me right now is feeling like it should be a lot more, but I'm like, okay, we'll probably work on that later in the future. If you want. But
what do you mean a lot more?
Like I feel like it should be more like accurate. But I was told that when we do rectification, it's not going to be absolutely like perfectly like accurate, but it's close to it.
Yeah, well, close is enough, because isn't it just more like the moon that changes a lot or something?
Well, yes, but the houses too. The houses change every about 10 minutes.
Yeah,
yeah. So, okay. we'll go with that for now. And then
Yeah.
if you have any questions, let me know. Like we could do.
Yeah.
Did you? Since you relocated, I could do also a relocation chart for you. I remember this is completely like my out of my own doing.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I'm more than
Well,
willing.
yeah, like I'll be happily be your guinea pig for anything.
Sure, yeah, basically, yes, be my guinea pig. Okay, sure. You and the other FTP brotherhood, sisterhood thing. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
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 It's fine, it's fine, yeah.
So, like, let me know
Okay.
if you need a guinea pig anytime.
Yeah, actually, like, yeah. If you're are you curious about how? Because relocation charts show us external experiences that, like, for example, my North Node was in the first house when I was born. But when I moved to this city, where I am now, it's now
Because where are you from?
Originally, I was born in the Philippines.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, but I was raised in the U.S. and then Canada.
Ah, yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
You're kind of like the same, right? You were raised in Australia?
Yeah. Yeah, I
Or-
went when I was like nine or 10 or something. 10 or 10,
Okay.
10 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've been there most of your life?
Yeah.
But you
Most
were
of
in
my
Germany
life.
for a while, you said, right?
Yeah, I was in Germany for 3 years. Yeah, like
Okay.
not so long ago. Yeah, like 2017.
Okay. I'm going to shock
Yeah.
you right now. Warum bist du in Deutschland gewesen?
Echt?
Ja, das kann ich.
Was?
Ja. Ja.
Wann?
Wieso? Wie ist das so möglich? Ach du lieber Gott.
Oh mein Gott! Wann und wie lange hast du?
Das war als ich in meiner Universität war und ich habe natürlich Deutsch studieren, aber jetzt studiere ich keine Sprache. Ich
Ja.
ich
Aber
erwerbe lieber.
dein Deutsch ist geil. Cool.
Echt? Ja, okay.
Cool. Ja, ja, ich war da für 3 Jahre
Mhm.
und ich finde die Sprache Deutsch,
Mhm. Okay.
es war sehr schwer eigentlich. Für mich es war sehr
Ja,
schwer.
das kann sein, aber was ich jetzt tun und was ich kürzlich tun oder diesen Tag, like these days, heutzutage, was ich mache, was ich tue, ist Sprache zu erwerben. Das ist einfach. Es ist wie Kinder. Es ist ganz kinderlich oder kinderisch oder so.
Ja.
Okay. Und kein Gedanke,
Ja.
und so weiter. Okay. Und alles ist natürlich, alles ist gerade wie Kinder so machen. Absorbieren.
Ja, aber mit wem?
Mit wem? Mit niemandem.
Niemand?
Ja,
Aber
selbst.
wie kannst du...
Deutsch, ich schaue deutsche Show zu, ich schaue Deutsch, jo verständlich
Ja.
die Show ist, desto mehr man die Show oder alles drinnen die Kontext erwerben könnte.
Wow.
Also das ist ja. I sometimes have to look for things. Like sometimes I can't automatically think of them in German, so I switch to English. Aber das ist kein Problem.
Ja. Gosh,
ja, früher hatte ich keine Fließendheit. Jetzt habe ich mehr Fließendheit, weil ich einfach Deutsch zuschaue. Ja. Ja.
Wow.
Das heißt Sprache. Wie bitte?
Aber du bist sehr fleißig.
Fließend, ja. Danke. Danke.
Fließend.
Ja.
Fließig.
Ich spreche fließend, nicht so fließend, aber ja. Yeah. But you kind of understand it, right? So I actually have my credentials are in language. And so languages. And that's what I graduated with university. And when I was like into languages, I would do what normal people do, like studying and grammar, all that stuff, blah blah blah,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
Then I realized there was a component in what I was doing as a teacher
Yeah.
that was natural. It's called the natural approach by what's his name again? Stephen Krashen. The natural approach. Well, his approach. His is more like uh, language acquisition.
Yes, I heard of. Yeah, I actually looked into that.
Spracherwerbung. So that's what he does, and I do that with every language.
Wow.
한국말이라도.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah.
You're freaking me out. Oh my god, Joseph.
But I don't know. 한국말하면은 내가 한국말하면 좀 유치하게 말할 수 없어. I have to think about it first. So
Yeah.
to have fluency in Korean is just like right now it's a little bit far. But because I had friends from South Korea in like Vancouver where I was from,
Yeah.
the accent, that's the one absolute thing I picked up.
Wow. Yeah. That's crazy.
So that's part of the natural. It's really connected to all the things we're doing. It's not just language. It's not just information. Yeah. It's spiritual. It's subconscious.
Holy shit.
I know. Holy fucking shit, right? Exactly.
I love it. Oh my god, wait. So did you live in Germany?
No, I was only there for like 2 weeks. But I
can't believe it. You're so good.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
I just cannot. German was so hard for me to learn.
Well, that's the thing, right? Because that's what for the past 500 something years, that's what we were taught. We were taught because, ooh, it's prestige, it's university, you have to learn the grammar first. But before that, for about 10,000 years or more, or even 100,000 years, how have we been doing languages? We didn't study it. We just
exactly.
We just picked it up. That's
just connection.
Exactly. It's just simple. And on the internet, and actually on YouTube, you'll look at it. They look at it. They use the method of language acquisition, but some of them kind of miss the point. They go into grammar or they translate. Because I was like, well, that's not going to help, because within each concept or word or phrase, whatever it is, you have a deeper understanding. It's an interpretation of the human. So when you interpret that through the culture, if you just translate it, what you're doing is catering to the previously acquired language, and then that culture is deeper than here.
That's
culture,
right.
Yeah, it's there, and
right.
so I think people sometimes miss the point, especially with like very cerebral, highly cerebral people. They kind of miss the point. So and I've been kind of questioning that, and I said, should I do languages again? But I was like, it gets so technical. But I was like, okay. Lori, you know Lori, right? She said, why don't you go back? She didn't really say it this way, but she said, like, try doing the astrology thing again, even though it's a little technical. But I was like, okay, that's okay. Because sometimes in the back of my head, I think, I have credentials in languages. Why am I doing with astrology?
Oh my god!
Yeah.
But you're so good at astrology as well.
Okay, thanks.
I feel like you give people so much guidance and gifts, and
okay, there you go.
But wow, gosh, you're so good at languages too.
Oh, thank you.
Well, how many languages? Which other languages do you speak?
Okay, fine. Okay, I'll try. So obviously English, and then sort of my mom's, like my parents' language, which is Tagalog.
Tagalog?
Yeah, German, Danish.
Oh my god.
And the other ones like French, Japanese, and Korean, they're not fluent. There's a lack. It's not as fluent as the other 4.
Wow.
It's not, but it's fine.
That's incredible. That is absolutely incredible.
Thank you. So I don't know. Yeah. So yeah, but astrology will help people.
Where's Tagalog from?
It's in the Philippines. It's spoken in the Philippines.
Right. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, it's
I'm
like
sure there's so much wisdom in that too.
Yeah, it's like but it's not like in Korea where you have like Saturi, right? It's not like dialects. You have a dialect of Tagalog, but you also have other languages. In the Philippines, they'll call the other ones they'll call the other ones dialects, but it's not really that. Anyways, Yeah, so it is in the Philippines. There you go.
Yeah, wow. I can't believe you're so good at German.
Thank you.
Because I tried to learn it for 3 years.
Oh yeah.
I did try it.
Do you want me to send you a channel that is really good? It's like just a
Yeah, and what shows are you watching? Is there like a really cool spiritual shows? Because like
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, I don't want to waste time watching.
That's true. No, thank you. Thank you. I love your honesty. I love it. Okay. I don't know. They're not spiritual, but it is like children's show. Have you tried Peppa Pig in German?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not
Yes,
kidding. Peppa Pig, yeah. Or Bing in German. Bing, it's like that the bunny. He's like a bunny rabbit.
Oh yeah,
That
yeah,
one's
that's
okay
true.
too. Yeah, that one's easy.
Yeah.
But to
Yeah.
support that, I would say I would send you a link about this channel where she actually gives us stories. Like some are fairy tales, so that's kind of ties into okay. But some are actual stories, because I like those too. I actually get drawn to like real stories, like those kind of thing. So I'll send you that stuff if you want.
Yeah.
Because I'm doing that for Slovak. Yeah. That's why this is up.
Oh.
There's a channel for it. She just does She just does the It's all Slovak, and it's easy to understand because it's very straightforward. Yeah. Some are fairy tale stuff. Some are. Yeah, a lot of it's fun story. I skip the ones that are like history of Bratislava, the capital. I kind of get bored with that. I'm like, what's your point? But okay, but she's good. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll send you the stuff. I'll let you go. I gotta go. Okay.
Oh gosh. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Joseph.
No, my pleasure.
Send me your details. Maybe like your YouTube and stuff as well, so I can follow you. Okay, if you have anything else,
thank you. Thank you.
Instagram, whatever. Like, I'd love to.
Okay.
And and if you need a guinea pig, I'll be here. Okay.
Yeah, if you're curious about the external stuff you have with when you move to Australia, how that's relocation chart. If you're curious about that, yeah, we'll talk on.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll let you go. Okay, have a good Sunday. Thank you so much for your
thank you so much. Yeah, have a beautiful evening.
Okay,
and so much blessings.
Thank you. You too. Blessings.
Okay.
Peace.
Yeah. Bye. Take care.